They say a man's home is his castle. In my case, that was literally true. I am an architect specializing in hyper-automated living. I design homes for billionaires in Silicon Valley, houses that think, breathe, and anticipate your needs before you even know them. My masterpiece, however, wasn't for a client. It was for us. My name is Lucas. I'm 40. My wife Bianca is a gallery curator. She is obsessed with aesthetics, minimalism, and status. We lived in the Ocular, a glass and steel structure perched on a cliff overlooking the ocean. I spent 3 years building it. Every door, every window, every light bulb is connected to a central server I call Domus. Bianca loved the house, or rather she loved showing it off. She loved hosting parties where she could tap her phone and change the mood lighting to sunset gold. My husband is a genius, she would tell her friends, sipping champagne. He built this whole cage just for me. She meant it as a joke. She didn't realize how prophetic those words were. For the last few months, Bianca had been distant. She was working late at the gallery with a new artist in residence, a guy named Julian. Julian was a pretentious conceptual artist who painted red dots on white canvases and sold them for $50,000. He wore scarves in the summer. He hated me. Lucas is so functional, Julian once said at a dinner party, swirling his wine. Architecture is just plumbing with an ego. Art is the soul. I didn't argue. I just adjusted the thermostat to make the room slightly too cold for him. But I suspected art and soul weren't the only things they were sharing. Part 2. The Censor Log. I had to fly to Tokyo for a conference on sustainable urban planning. It was a 3-day trip. "Don't worry about the house, babe," Bianca said, kissing me goodbye. "I'm just going to have a quiet weekend. Maybe do some yoga. Read." "Have fun," I said. "Domus is set to eco mode. Call me if you need anything." I landed in Tokyo. I checked into my hotel. I opened my laptop to check the house diagnostics. Not because I was suspicious, but because I'm a perfectionist. I wanted to see if the solar panels were optimizing correctly. I pulled up the Domus dashboard. Energy consumption was spiking in the master bedroom. Humidity levels in the master bathroom shower were at 95% at 2 a.m. But the smoking gun wasn't a camera feed. I don't put cameras in the bedroom. I respect privacy. The smoking gun was the biometric health mat I had installed under the mattress to track sleep quality. It registered 2 heartbeats, and they weren't sleeping. The rhythmic pressure sensors painted a very clear, very graphic picture of what was happening in my bed. Then, I accessed the audio logs from the living room. "God, this house is creepy." Julian's voice echoed through my headphones in Tokyo. "It feels like he's watching us." "He's in Japan, Julian," Bianca laughed. "Relax. He's probably looking at concrete samples right now. He's such a bore." "When are you going to leave him?" "After he finishes the Aspen project," Bianca said. "That's a $2 million commission. I want half of that. Then we can take the money, sell this glass monstrosity, and move to Florence." "Sell the house?" "I hate this place," Bianca spat. "It's cold. It's sterile. It's just like him. I want to live somewhere with soul." I closed my laptop. They wanted soul, I would give them a soul. I would give them a haunting. Part 3. Protocol. Lockdown. I didn't fly home. That's what an emotional amateur would do. I stayed in Tokyo. I ordered room service. I cracked my knuckles. I logged into Domus with admin level 5 privileges. This is what I call God mode. It overrides all manual controls. It overrides the wall panels. It overrides Bianca's phone app. I checked the weather report for California. A massive Pacific storm was hitting the coast. Heavy rain, high winds. Perfect. It meant they wouldn't leave the house. It meant the noise of the storm would mask the sound of the locks engaging. I initiated Protocol Fortress. Normally, this protocol is for a home invasion. It drops steel shutters over the windows, locks the reinforced doors with deadbolts that cannot be picked, and cuts the cellular signal boosters to prevent hackers from jamming the system. But today, it wasn't keeping intruders out. It was keeping the rats in. Part 4. The Poltergeist. It started subtly. It was 8:00 p.m. in California. They were in the kitchen, cooking my Wagyu beef. I accessed the lighting controls. I started flickering the lights in Morse code. LIAR. "What the hell?" I heard Julian say. "Is the power going out?" "It's the storm," Bianca said. "This stupid smart house always glitches when it rains." I turned the thermostat down to 45 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Celsius. Then, 10 minutes later, I cranked it up to 95 degrees, 35 Celsius. "I'm freezing," Julian complained. "Now I'm sweating. Bianca, fix it." "I can't," she yelled, tapping furiously on the wall panel. "The screen is locked. It says, 'System update in progress.'" Then, the audio. I have a soundscape system hidden in the walls. I didn't play scary music. I played their own voices. I took the recording from earlier. "He's such a bore. I want half that money." And I looped it. I played it at a whisper volume. Just loud enough to be heard, but quiet enough to make them question their sanity. "Did you hear that?" Julian asked, dropping his fork. "Hear what?" "It sounded like you." Then I cut the Wi-Fi. I cut the cable TV. The only thing that worked was the giant 85-inch screen in the living room. I turned it on remotely. I displayed a single static image, the pressure sensor heat map of the bed from the night before. 2 red blobs entangled. And below it, text in a generic font. "Data logged, adultery, file saved to cloud." Part 5. The Glass Cage. Panic set in. Bianca ran to the front door. Locked. She tried the patio doors. The steel storm shutters were down. She grabbed her phone. No signal. I disabled the booster and the storm killed the towers. "We're trapped," she screamed. "Lucas! Lucas, are you doing this?" She yelled at the ceiling sensors. I didn't answer. Silence is louder. I let them simmer for 12 hours. They slept on the couch, shivering, terrified. The next morning, the storm cleared, but the shutters stayed down. The house was pitch black inside. I decided to make my appearance. I activated the 2-way video intercom on the main screen. I was sitting in my hotel room in Tokyo, drinking green tea, looking fresh. "Good morning," I said. Bianca jumped up. She looked terrible. Makeup smeared, hair messy. Julian was cowering behind the sofa. "Lucas!" she cried, trying to compose herself. "Something is wrong with the house. We've been trapped all night. The system is hacked." "The system is functioning perfectly, Bianca," I said calmly. "It successfully identified 2 parasites in the living room and initiated quarantine." Her face dropped. "Lucas, wait. I can explain." "Don't," I cut her off. "I have the audio logs. I have the biometrics. I know about the Aspen money. I know about Florence." I looked at Julian. "And Julian, nice scarf. I have a question for you." "Man, look, I didn't know," Julian stammered. "Shut up," I said. "The question is, did you know that the Ocular is a zero-waste facility?" "What?" "It means we recycle everything, including trash." Part 6. The Reveal. Here is the situation, I continued. I am currently live streaming this footage to my lawyer's office. Also, Julian, I did a little digging into your art. It turns out, selling paintings to anonymous buyers for inflated prices is a classic money laundering technique. I ran your name through a database. Julian turned pale. I found it interesting that you have 3 warrants for fraud in Nevada. So I forwarded your location, and the fact that you are currently trapped in my house, to the local sheriff's department. You called the cops? Julian screamed. He ran to the window and started banging on the reinforced glass. It's bulletproof. He wasn't getting out. They should be there in about 5 minutes. I checked my watch. Bianca, I turned my attention to her. The divorce papers were just printed on the laser jet in my office upstairs. Go get them. Lucas, please, she begged. Don't do this. I love you. You love the house, I corrected. Well, enjoy it. You have it for exactly 10 more minutes. Part 7. The Eviction. I watched on the security feed as the police cars rolled up the driveway. I disengaged the locks remotely. The front door swung open. The officers entered, guns drawn. They take intruder calls seriously. They found Julian trying to break a window with a heavy vase. He was arrested immediately for the warrants and for trespassing. Bianca was standing there, holding the divorce papers I told her to print. I sold the Ocular 3 months later. I couldn't live there anymore. It felt tainted. I sold it to a tech billionaire who thought the Fortress Protocol was a cool feature. I made a $4 million profit on the sale. Bianca got nothing. The prenup was solid, and the evidence of infidelity and conspiracy to steal my future earnings allowed me to cut her off completely. She lives in a small apartment now. I heard she's dating a barista. I moved to a cabin in the mountains. It's made of wood. It has a real fireplace. No sensors, no cameras, no God mode, just keys, and I'm the only one who has them.